When you look across the street at that house with the new roof, you'd probably notice the color and the design of the new shingles on the house. But do you notice the attic vents on the roof? Do you even pay attention to the vents on your own roof? Many homeowners don't think about attic ventilation because it might not seem important, but that can be a costly mistake. Proper attic ventilation helps protect the entire roof structure, including the shingles and the roof deck, and contributes to a more comfortable living environment inside the house. A properly designed and installed attic ventilation system creates a continuous flow of air through the attic that helps reduce heat and moisture buildup. Attic ventilation is important year-round. Here's why. In the summer, heat from the sun builds up in the attic and radiates into the living space. Your home can become uncomfortable. Air conditioning usage increases, and roof shingles can deteriorate prematurely. In the winter, moisture generated inside the home rises into the attic where it can condense and contribute to the conditions that cause mold and mildew. Mold spores produce allergens that affect air quality. Moisture can cause wood rot and even structural damage. And if insulation gets wet, it can lose its ability to insulate. Lack of attic ventilation is also one of the main contributors to winter ice dams that cause extensive damage to homes every year. Your attic should remain cool in the winter so that the snow on your roof melts slowly and evenly to help reduce the likelihood of ice damming. A ventilation system should be designed to create a flow of air through the attic. Cool, fresh air enters the attic through intake vents installed in the soffit or under eave, and exits the attic near the peak of the roof through exhaust vents. Along the way, the air moves heat and moisture out of the attic. The most efficient and effective exhaust vent is a ridge vent. Only ridge vents provide a constant flow of air along the entire horizontal ridge of the roof. With other exhaust vents, some pockets or sections of the attic can be left unventilated. Ridge vents also win when it comes to aesthetics. Shingle-over ridge vents are installed along the ridge and covered with cap shingles. They blend in with the roof and can barely be seen from the ground. Most professional roofing contractors use ridge vents, but there are different types of ridge vents and some perform better than others. Air vent ridge vents, shingle vent 2, and multi-pitch filter vent feature an external wind baffle and an internal weather filter that give them exceptional performance. Here's how they work. The external baffle deflects wind over the vent, creating an area of low pressure at the vent openings that helps draw air out of the attic. Known as the Bernoulli effect, this phenomenon is the same principle that allows airplanes to fly. Let's go to the University of Florida in Gainesville for an example of how air vent's externally baffled shingle vent 2 exhausts air from the attic and how it performs compared to other ridge vents. Different styles of ridge vents were installed, one by one, next to shingle vent 2 on this specially built test house with separate attic chambers. Wendell Porter, the lead researcher, explains.
During this test, we used smoke candles, orange and yellow, for the good contrast, and they were identical in length, and they're also identical in smoke volume. And we placed them in identical positions in each attic for the test. During times of still air, what we have is a thermally driven effect, removing heat from the attic. But when the wind picks up in the 2 to 3, even up to 5 miles an hour, the wind drives the effect much more than thermal concerns. And during times of higher wind velocities in excess of 5 miles an hour, you would have the smoke come out much more preferentially with the external baffled ridge vent than you would with a ridge vent that did not have the external baffle. With the external baffle, it's very easy to see that smoke comes out of both sides of the ridge vent under all wind conditions. And it operates as planned, as opposed to without the external baffle, smoke typically only comes out of one side. It was clear from this series of tests that test after test showed that the one of the ridge vents, the one with the external baffle, worked better than the others. The smoke came equally out of both sides of the ridge vent. The attic spaces cleared quicker, and this happened under widely different wind conditions time after time, all in wind conditions you would expect to see in your home.
Air vent ridge vents also feature a non-clogging weather filter designed to keep rain, snow, dust, and insects out of the attic. and the external baffle deflects blowing snow and rain over the vent away from the attic. In fact, air vent ridge vents have been tested to stand up to the Dade County 110-mile-per-hour wind-blown rain test. The test footage of Shingle Vent 2 clearly shows how the baffle deflects weather over the vent, protecting the attic from rain infiltration even in 110-mile-per-hour wind speeds. Air Vent's ridge vents provide exceptional performance that has been proven through testing and research. So if you're investing in a new roof, be sure to think about attic ventilation. And when it comes to attic ventilation, go with the best, Air Vent.